Chapter 10. Understanding your Danish boss. Danish bosses don't like to flaunt their authority. The social cues that point to a big cheese in other cultures, the flashy watch, the big office, the glamorous yet servile executive assistant, are considered poor taste in egalitarian Denmark. So are the booming take-charge personalities many foreigners may expect from a boss. Denmark is a flat country. It is flat geographically. You are expected to keep a flat temperament and vocal tone. And, as they love to tell you, Danish companies have a relatively flat management structure. This means fewer layers of people to keep an eye on you, which can be a refreshing thing, but also fewer people around to help if you're confused or overwhelmed. Trying to figure out their Danish boss can be difficult for foreigners. If your culture is full of strong leaders who drive their teams forward, like a general leading troops into battle, you may find your Danish boss passive and even difficult to respect. A Danish boss is less like an army general and more like a sports coach. She outlines how important it is to win the game, brings in people she believes have the right qualifications, and gives them the outline of what she wants done. Then she sets them loose on the playing field to go do their jobs. Not trusting employees to get the work done on their own is seen as an insult. I saw an example of this at one of my first corporate jobs in Denmark, where I worked as a Danish English translator at Danske Bank. One day, our department head asked us to kindly let her know when we were going to lunch and when we returned, so she could allocate resources and make sure there was coverage for urgent assignments. Now, this seemed reasonable to me, but my fellow translators were furious. They held a secret lunchtime meeting to discuss what they saw as an outrageous suggestion. They were not school children or factory workers, they told each other in the company canteen. They were professionals, and as long as they got their work done promptly and correctly, there was no reason to monitor when they were in the office and when they weren't. The boss backed down. In Denmark, the workers' needs are often given more consideration than the customer's needs. Any urgent translations would have to wait until the translators got back from lunch. Or the boss could do them herself. In general, your Danish boss won't monitor how much time you spend in the office. In fact, if you spend too much time there, she may worry that you can't handle your job. Apart from special peak periods, the general Danish attitude is that any job worth doing should be doable in the official work week of 37 and a half hours. There are no real prizes for staying at work beyond that. That said, when you're at work, you're expected to fully focus on the job and to deliver exactly what you said you would deliver at precisely the time you promised to deliver it. Delays and excuses are toxic in Danish business life, especially when they arrive at the last minute. They wreak havoc with the quality and competence every Danish company likes to project. If you're having trouble with an assignment and don't think you'll be able to deliver on time, let your boss know as soon as problems begin to arise. That way, she can make plans to get you some backup or move around deadlines. Revealing at the last minute that an assignment won't be ready on time is a recipe for a very angry Danish boss. Anger is a slightly forbidden emotion in Denmark. Like sexuality in conservative countries, it is expected to be expressed in private. That means if your boss is angry at you, she will probably call you to a conference room and have a chat with you one-on-one. Hanging someone out in front of others, or pointing out their failures while others watch, is considered extremely bad manners in Denmark. Make sure not to do it yourself when someone else on your team drops the ball. At any rate, the one-on-one chat with your boss is where things can go wrong. She will be trying to express an uncomfortable emotion, anger, in a second language, English. The wording can often come out harsh and even rude. Anyway, confrontations like these are when many foreigners decide they don't like their Danish bosses, or that their Danish bosses are stubborn and inflexible. Keep in mind that it's difficult for Danes to reprimand people because it makes it all too clear that they are not equal. It makes the boss an authority figure, and this is an anti-authoritarian culture. So spare a little sympathy for your Danish boss's awkward situation and embarrassment at having to be the higher-up and bad guy. If you did fail to live up to expectations, admit that and work towards a solution. Even better, proactively point out your own mistakes, which will make the boss feel like she can trust you. Since doing your job well is the presumed default in Danish companies, your boss may not say all that much when he is happy with your work. Celebrating success is not a core skill in Denmark. This can be disconcerting for internationals, especially Americans, who are raised on constant applause, aimed at boosting their self-esteem. More than one international has told me that they thought they were on the verge of being fired before an annual employee review confirmed that they were, in fact, doing an excellent job. You, too, may not get any indication you're doing well until the formal yearly evaluation, standard in most corporate jobs, when your boss may applaud your wonderful performance. In the meantime, no news is generally good news. If you feel you need feedback or have something on your mind, most Danish bosses have an open-door policy. You can just drop into his office for a chat, or schedule 15 minutes at the end of the day to talk about how you're doing. There's not much reason to be afraid of the boss in Denmark. He will often have his desk close to you in an open-plan office, not hidden behind glass and a forbidding secretary. He'll eat lunch with you in the company canteen, share a beer with the staff after work on Friday, or even boogie down with you at the company Christmas party. Your boss wants to see himself as part of the team. Clearly, he's the part of the team that organizes and supervises and evaluates and takes responsibility for the biggest decisions, but still just part of the team. Equal, just like everyone else.